Is it bad to switch insurance providers? Hi, and welcome to our channel. Today, we will explore the risks and benefits of switching insurance providers and help you make an informed decision. So stay tuned and let's get started. If you shop around and compare insurance companies, you will probably find cheaper rates or better coverage options than you have now. And with so many options available, switching insurance providers for a better deal can be tempting. But is it always the best decision? We're here to help. Switching insurance providers can be a bit like dating. You're in a relationship with an insurance provider that isn't working out for you. The rates may be too high, the customer service isn't great, or the coverage doesn't fit your needs. It's easy to get unhappy with poor customer service or a late claim payment. But the saying is very true. The grass isn't always greener on the other side. Is it bad to switch insurance providers? No, not necessarily. But it's a choice you should consider carefully before making a final decision. On one hand, switching providers can give you access to better rates, more coverage options, and improved customer service. It certainly has its benefits. On the other hand, it can be a hassle to go through the process of switching providers, and you may have to pay fees or penalties. But we must also warn you that it can have its risks. So whether or not it's bad to switch insurance providers depends on your circumstances and priorities. It may be worth switching providers if you're unhappy with your current provider or think you can find a better deal elsewhere. Here are some of the things you need to consider before you decide to switch your insurance provider. The first thing you need to consider is the cancellation penalties or fees. Some states and companies may charge a fee for switching providers. This fee can vary depending on the provider, the remaining time on your policy, and the type of policy you have. Breaking a lease before the policy end date can result in substantial fees, especially when it's a long-term lease. For example, if you're canceling a car insurance policy before the end of the term, you may have to pay a fee to cover the cost of the remaining months of coverage. It's like paying the remaining rent if you decide to move before the end of the lease. The good news is that most states have no fees for switching providers, and insurance companies usually won't apply fees even if they are allowed to in their state. One of the reasons insurance companies usually waive the fees is because they want to maintain the relationship with you if you decide to return down the road. Some companies are so understanding and flexible about it that they'll leave your policy retroactive. This way, if you come back to them within a specific time frame, whether a week, 2 weeks, or sometimes even 30 days, you can return to that exact same policy without having a lapse in coverage. However, even though fines are uncommon and most providers are flexible, you still have to find out the terms of your policy. Before you leave, confirm that there won't be a costly penalty. Most people would never sign a lease without reading the contract terms first. You want to handle this the same way. Compare the cost of canceling your current policy against the cost of getting a new one. The second thing to consider is insurance discounts. Loss of discounts can be like losing your frequent flyer miles when switching airlines. When you've been with an insurance provider for a long time, you may have accumulated discounts or rewards that you will lose if you change providers. For example, if you've been with the same car insurance provider for several years, you may have built up a good driving record and have accumulated safe driver discounts. If you switch providers, you could lose those discounts and have to start from scratch to earn them again. Another example is if you've been with the same health insurance provider for a long time. You may have accumulated discounts for being a loyal customer, such as discounts on your premium or co-payments. If you switch providers, you'll lose those discounts and may have to start over to earn them again. Discounts can work in your favor during a provider switch though too. You can get access to better discounts that your current provider doesn't offer. For example, You could switch to a new car insurance provider with better discounts if you insure multiple cars on the same policy. Or you could switch to a new health insurance provider that offers discounts for your professions or specific wellness programs. If your old provider didn't offer those perks, you could save a good amount of money. It's like finding a hidden treasure when switching insurance providers. You may not have known that the discounts existed before switching. Remember that it's always important to weigh the potential loss or gain of discounts against the benefits of switching insurance providers before deciding. It's also a good idea to ask your current provider if they would be willing to match discounts or rewards to avoid losing you as a customer. Discounts vary by provider, policy, term length, and coverage provided. Compare the deals offered by different providers before making a decision. Just like you would compare the prices while shopping at the store. You should also do the same for your insurance coverage. Comparison shopping for insurance is very easy to do online nowadays. FreeAdvice.com makes it easy to compare several policies at once. And it's free. Just enter your zip code to get started. The next thing you need to consider before switching providers is the coverage. Insurance coverage is like the foundation of a house. It needs to be solid and adequate to protect you and your assets. So when considering switching insurance providers, it's crucial to ensure that the new policy offers the coverage you need. For example, if you have a car insurance policy, you'll want to ensure that the new policy provides liability, collision, and comprehensive coverage. Be sure you will have, at the very least, the minimum required coverage in your state. If you have health insurance, make sure the new policy covers not only routine care, but also prescription drugs, mental health services, and emergency care. You wouldn't buy a house unless it had solid foundation, enough room for your needs, and adequate protection against storms. Do the same for your insurance coverage. It's crucial you compare coverage options and read policy details carefully to ensure you're getting the coverage you need. Just like you review inspections before buying a home. Also, it's necessary to recognize that your coverage needs may change over time. So it's always a good idea to review your coverage options periodically to ensure you have the protection you need. Like how you maintain and upgrade your home, don't neglect your insurance coverage. As you can see from what's been mentioned already, it's a lot to consider when you're thinking about switching insurance providers. At least now you know the key things to focus on as you make this important decision. One downside of switching providers to keep in mind is that it isn't always easy. It can be a frustrating and time-consuming hassle. Shopping around, comparing quotes, and getting your specific questions answered takes time. Then once you switch, there will be a lot of paperwork you need to sign. Just like switching doctors, switching insurance providers is a lengthy process. The new provider will need to obtain copies of your prior insurance documents. And for you to receive the insurance at the lowest price possible, you will have to provide documents proving you meet the discount requirements. So you might be thinking, okay, so how often should I be switching insurance providers? The advice on this varies. Some people think you should search around for new insurance companies each year. Here at FreeAdvice.com, we don't think you should switch providers every year unless there are reasons you can't ignore. There are several perks you can enjoy when staying loyal to your current insurance provider, including loyalty discounts. We suggest not switching providers more often than every 3 years if possible. In our opinion, there's no reason to switch more frequently unless there's a reason you are unhappy with your current provider. No need to look elsewhere unless you think you aren't getting the coverage you need or the price you deserve. Another key point to remember is that prices fluctuate quite often in the insurance world. In the last 12 months, inflation has driven up the cost of both materials for damage and medical costs associated with claims. There's really no way to avoid those price increases affecting your insurance policy. Also, in the United States, there have been significant spikes in home insurance claims in the past 2 years. Experts predict that the recent increase in claims will cause a 5 to 10% price increase in homeowners insurance this year. We understand that unexpected price increases will make you tempted to bail on your current provider. Just be careful, because there's no guarantee the new company won't also be implementing rate increases soon. We suggest you talk to an insurance agent at your current provider about the reasons for price increases and how you can lower your monthly payments. Insurance providers across the nation are raising their rates gradually for the next 12 to 18 months. These rate increases will be seen in every state with all providers. Claim frequency, inflation, and increased manufacturing costs are top reasons Americans will suffer through these rate spikes in 2023. We suggest you keep the coverage you have if the increase is less than 10% and you can afford to pay the increased amount. It isn't worth taking the time to find another provider when their rates will probably soon go up too, if they haven't already. But again, we do suggest shopping around every 3 to 5 years to make sure you aren't missing better deals, coverage, or customer service from another provider. Think of switching insurance providers like moving to a new city. It can be risky, but it can also lead to new opportunities and growth. There are several important factors to consider when deciding whether to switch providers, such as coverage, cost, and penalties. By carefully considering these factors and weighing the risks against the benefits, you can make an informed, educated decision about whether or not you should switch providers. It never hurts to see what other rates are out there. That's why FreeAdvice.com makes it easy to get free quotes. We want you to know what the top providers have to offer. Online comparison shopping for insurance is as easy and streamlined today as it has ever been in the history of insurance. So, don't delay when it comes to making sure you have the best deal possible. And there we have it, folks. We hope this video has been helpful in guiding you through the process of deciding whether or not to switch insurance providers. Don't hesitate to leave a comment below if you have any questions or if there's a specific topic you'd like us to cover in our next video. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more engaging and informative videos. Thanks for watching!